My name is Ruth MacGilp. I live in Edinburgh and I'm a freelance digital marketer and copywriter, which basically means I work with various fashion brands and magazines on their social media, newsletters, websites, PR, anything sort of digital, getting their story told. My other kind of side of what I do is that I'm an ethical fashion blogger. I write blog posts and newsletters and lots of Instagram captions about the sort of intersection of fashion and sustainability. And I try and make it sort of as accessible as I can and trying to make ethical fashion appealing by giving a bit of kind of fun outfit inspiration.
Do you think fashion sustainability is accepted by journalists?
I do think journalists do care about sustainable fashion. There's sort of new headlines every single day. I've got like 1 million Google alerts set up. And it's really great to see it finally be talked about in mainstream media, because I guess when I first started writing about it, it felt like I was talking to a brick wall and people really didn't want to hear it. And there's obviously a lot of like bloggers and Instagrammers now as well. It's really kind of propelled into the mainstream. I guess the only problem is that there's a lot of weird relationships with advertisers and sort of more traditional publications within fast fashion. So there's only so much like a magazine can say. And, you know, I've had this experience myself having to redact like brand names from an article. And also I do think maybe some journalists are slightly lazy, you know, reading a press release and sort of regurgitating it as an article that's just advertising a brand. And there's a lot of like greenwashing that goes on when brands send out these press releases saying that they're all sustainable. So I do think they care, but perhaps some more education needs to happen to ensure that the truth is being told.
What drew you towards fashion sustainability?
I basically got into this sort of world because I was always interested in fashion from a really young age. The classic reading Vogue and shopping and sewing, and I always wanted to study fashion and work in fashion. I did lots of internships. And then I sort of discovered that this industry was much darker than I had previously thought. You know, I just thought it was very glamorous and fun. And then in 2013, the Rana Plaza disaster happened. And I remember where I was when I heard that news of a garment factory disaster happening and so much tragedy. And I just felt I couldn't be part of this problem, but I still really was passionate about the good that fashion can do.
Why is fashion sustainability important?
Tried to start to be part of the solution. I kind of decided that instead of kind of quitting on the dream and boycotting everything, it's more about the intersection of where fashion and sustainability meet and using fashion as part of this shift towards a world that's less environmentally destructive. And obviously with the climate emergency and so much news going on about that, we can sort of no longer ignore fashion's part to play as well. So I think sustainability in fashion is really important because, like I said, the climate emergency has been declared. Fashion is actually one of the biggest polluters. I think people kind of forget and they, you know, focus on perhaps like single-use plastics or oil or transport, but fashion has a huge impact. Saw some stat the other day that it's bigger than all international flights combined. And so sustainability is obviously needs to incorporate fashion. And for me as well, it's more than just the obvious environmental impacts. It needs to also be about kind of ethics, the ethical side, you know, the labour rights for cotton farmers and fair pay for garment workers, and also kind of issues like diversity and inclusivity and cultural sensitivity are all part of this new sustainable future of fashion as well. I mean, there's no fashion on a dead planet, and so we really need to start rewriting the narrative. And it's not just about like an afterthought of maybe like making an organic cotton t-shirt. It's about kind of shifting the entire business model throughout the industry.
What is the future of fashion?
So the future of fashion, I hope that the future is that all fashion is sustainable and that this phrase sustainable fashion, which we all know so well, just doesn't need to be a phrase at all. It's not a separate category. I think it just is fashion. That's my dream anyway. I don't know if we're going to get there, but we really don't have a choice now. We have to change. This is the future. I'm hoping as well that there'll be a lot of new business models kind of seeping in, like I said, sort of beyond this kind of let's just keep consuming as much as we can but make it organic cotton. So like renting and sharing and the circular economy, because this sort of overconsumption and production is the crux of the problem really. Fast fashion itself can't be sustainable. We need a total system overhaul.